Night show?
Late show? We are live.
The Nintendo Shack is back. Welcome to PSVG's Nintendo Shack. I am Jason. I am back in the saddle here. Donnie set me free to. He said, Jason, you've done a lot of good work for PSVG in the past months. You can be free to go spend time with your family during Thanksgiving. I unleash you, and I escaped. And he once again handsomely took over and did a great show in my absence. He even brought Q into the shack. I never thought I'd see the day. This is episode 8. Welcome. We're happy to have you here. If you can't tell already, if you're watching this, you might be listening, but we have the return. The prodigal son has come back to the shack. Kevin Austin is here.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. Why? Donnie's here?
Donnie's here.
Shouldn't it be Lucas? I was told this was Fluxtaposed. I brought beer.
You see, we had to kind of rope you into this. So I feel bad about the bait and switch, man. I really do. But you're doing the early morning gamer thing. You're editing like 18 podcasts, and Donnie gives you Thanksgiving off, and I edited 6 podcasts in 2 days, and you get Thanksgiving off. What is wrong with this picture? It's still that beard karma paying its dividends.
Fair enough. I'm just happy not to be hosting something, so I'm good with this.
Well, hey, we started the Nintendo Shack this way. It's only right that we continue
we end it this way. Just burn it down.
Well, I mean that you want to head in that direction. I mean, we can talk about it.
It is fun podcasting and not being in the host chair. I can relate to that. It's nice, yeah.
That's why Donnie doesn't jump and volunteer very often.
No, we need reps for everybody. Everybody needs reps, right? Everybody, just more cracks at the bat.
Yeah. It's that Cleveland Browns mentality about quarterbacking and stuff, right? Just get more reps. Get more reps. Speaking of Cleveland Browns, Donnie Reese is here. Donnie, how are you?
Greetings and good evening, koopalings. Doing well, man. Doing well. Excited about tomorrow.
Tonight as Xenoblade Eve. Is that the excitement? We'll talk more about that later on in the show. But for those that have been following PSVG since its inception, this was the core of the Nintendo team at one time, and then we let all these other yahoos in, and other people had to join up and want to podcast, and we had to go our merry ways. But tonight we've reunited to bring you our mental dribble of thoughts on Nintendo and all things going on right now in the Nintendo space. So, strap in, sit back, turn your podcasting app up to 11, because we're going to have a good time. We do have some unorthodox news to discuss on today's show, and I think what better way to start it off than with a little dose of our childhood. Nintendo has a cereal again, gentlemen.
Yeah, they do. I missed that. I remember that. Now, I'm older than, we're both older than Donnie. So
you're old.
Yes,
that's correct.
Yeah. So
I'm saying that you're old. Yes.
Did you actually get to have the old school Mario/Zelda cereal back in the day? Me too.
Yes, I remember it.
It was terrible, but I just remember have fond memories.
Yeah, I can't say I remember the taste as that much, but I remember buying it and having it, and yeah. So I do remember it.
I always ate the Zelda first. I don't remember what it tastes like, though. It's kind of fruity. So, Donnie, you never had it?
No, I never had it. Never saw it. Never knew about it until today.
You didn't even know about it?
I didn't even know about it, no. I didn't know they used to have a cereal.
Wow.
See, now you've been... Well, Donnie, back in my day...
Was it good cereal? What kind of cereal was it?
If I recall, and I might be wrong here, I remember the Zelda one being like strawberry or fruit flavored somewhat. Yeah. If I recall, it didn't make any sense, and it tied absolutely nothing into the property other than the box. But people bought it because that was the hotness then. I'll have to do some Fluxtapose typing and see if we can find out what flavors they were.
Whenever anyone types anything on a podcast now,
you've branded that.
I'm okay
awesome
with that.
Brand recognition.
I guess if that's our legacy, I'm okay with that.
Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't.
So Nintendo Cereal System is a breakfast cereal produced by Ralston Cereals in 1986, and it went on for 3 years until 1989.
Dude, I was born in 87. You're like, wow, you didn't even have it? It was 2.
Well, I mean, heard of it. I can understand you didn't eat it, but heard of it. In 2010, a box was sold on eBay for over $200.
Wow.
Wow. What it was, so one side was the Super Mario Brothers action series. It had fruity flavored characters and items: Mario's, Super Mushrooms, Goombas, Koopa Troopers, and Bowser's. The other side of the box, known as the Zelda Adventure series, consists of berry flavored characters and items: links, hearts, keys, boomerangs, and shields. Inside the box, there was a sticker of a Nintendo character, and the back panel was a set of 12 trading cards called Nintendo Power Cards.
Nice. Did you play with the Nintendo Power Cards, Kevin?
Well, they didn't have any amiibo functionality like the one we're getting now, but I'm trying to remember if it's been a long time, but I want to say they even had, like, it wasn't just Mario and Zelda cards. I think there was, like, if I recall, there was like Punch Out cards too. I remember seeing Punch Out characters, I think, but.
Do you want me to read the news?
Yeah, go ahead. Read the presser.
Yeah, do the presser. Yeah, do the presser.
The limited edition cereal box will be hitting store shelves across the U.S. as early as December 11th. Those playing the Super Mario Odyssey game can tap the cereal box. I love the idea of that. Tap the cereal box on the Nintendo Switch system like you would an amiibo to receive gold coins or hearts in the game. Even the cereal itself has Super Mario twist with colorful power-up marshmallows and a blast of mixed berry flavor in every box. That is from the press release. So I love the idea of, instead of cutting out the amiibo part of the box and using that, you're just lifting up the gigantic box and putting it on the game. I think at that point it'd be easier to take the Joy-Con off and put the Joy-Con against the box.
Just put it in their cereal box. Just leave your Joy-Con in your cereal. Then when your kids dump it in the bowl, they're like, "Oh my God, there's a Joy-Con prize in my cereal bowl."
That's a cool little, like, twist on it, you know. They threw the amiibo functionality in there. I mean, that's I don't know. Like, I mean, when first I saw it, like, this, what it first kind of leaked. I don't want to say leaked, but it started, this trickled out on the internet 2 days ago or yesterday. I can't remember. They saw images of that box, and then there was no branding or trademarking, like, around the Nintendo logos and stuff. And people were like, "Well, this is fake." And then, you know, today we get all the official news, and, like, and most of my Nintendo talk, it centers around, you know, the couple Discord servers I'm on, and then someone on Twitter. But people are like, "Yeah," you know, really going pretty crazy about this. And I was just kind of like, okay. I don't know. I'll try it, but I'm not, like, over the moon for it, I guess. I don't know.
Hard to get a rise out of one Jason Lacey. Hard to rev up.
True. It's true. I can't. This is a family-friendly show, so I can't say what I wanted to say because it wasn't even meant to be taken in that direction, and it's just going to sound that way. So we're just gonna blue shell right around that. But I'm going to eat it. I'm going to try it. Here's the thing: the pinnacle of cereal for me is Captain Crunch. Not even the Crunch Berries. Straight up Captain Crunch. Ooh. I like to live dangerously, because that threat of cutting the roof of your mouth is there every bite. So,
well, you say that you're going to try it, you're going to buy it, and you're going to taste it. Yes. Are you, though? Or are people going to scalp this thing for like $80 for a box of cereal? Because dude, you know it's coming.
That is so sad.
People are already tracking the locations, the Walmarts that are getting them and when they're getting them. Caroline. They have this SKU. They're checking it online. Like, there are already people hunting this. Caroline. Myself, I'm like, hey, I can just walk into Target, and if they have it, I'm going to buy it. I'm not hunting it down, but if I see it, I'm buying it. But
Caroline.
Yeah, Caroline.
Just
Caroline's intercepting Walmart trucks right now. She's driving along the highway trying to find them. Like, she's
gonna no. Caroline's gonna do a Fast and the Furious, and she's gonna
she's
gonna jack a semi, and
she's got Vin Diesel on the Rock riding shotgun. But it's the first cereal I've ever heard of that straight up has a release date, guys. It has. They announced the release date for a cereal.
I gotta say, it's probably like the most anticipated cereal release that I've ever heard of or thought of.
It's the power of Nintendo. It's what you say it all the time on your tweets.
I also can't recall a cereal ever having like a toy that I wanted to get. You know, like there's cereal boxes that had toys for decades, but like, is there a cereal like I have to get the box of cereal, not for the cereal at all? Like I got to get what's in the box. So, but Kevin, you're right. The scalping thing I didn't even think about until you said it. But you got to think it's easier to print them on boxes than it is to package them in little figurines and ship those to the stores. So yeah, I think they'll make a lot more of these than those.
We'll see. Hopefully they do.
Let's face it, like, because it's correct me if I'm right. It's Kellogg is making the cereal.
I deleted the. I think I deleted the presser.
I will find out.
I was gonna say, in Nintendo fashion, are they going to just release like 15,000 of them? Like every store gets 5.
Can you change your name to Eaton Nintendo when it comes out? Please.
Oh my gosh, that'd be great.
I haven't told my kids yet, but yeah, we'll definitely be grabbing a box or 3, 5. I don't know. I bought a lot of those Destiny cans for those pop tabs, so
you need to somehow keep it secret for them,
it is
and then just bring it home.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then I want you to record it.
Okay, I'll try. I gotta say, I'm a little let down.
I hope Jack would be pumped for it.
I'm a little let down with the amiibo functionality. I was hoping that like there would be like a virtual amiibo cereal box or something like in it, or at least a character, you know, like maybe like Mario eating cereal. It's just like you get coins or a heart. That's
Did they say what it was though? Because the back of the box just says every Super Mario cereal box is an amiibo you can use to unlock special content.
Well, the press release said coins, or it said in Odyssey. Maybe it has more functionality outside of Odyssey, but it said
you'll get cereal and Breath of the Wild.
Odyssey, that'd be amazing. See, that would be something that I'd be down to, like just cornflakes popped in or something like that.
That's awesome. Why the DLC isn't out yet. They had to get those animations.
Exactly.
They had to raise a little bit more money, so they farmed it out. That's good stuff.
It gives you because it's going to hype Link up, so it gives you increased run speed, more stamina, and attack up as well.
And Cappy. You get Cappy.
You get Cappy. Oh no. Speaking of Zelda, I want that DLC. I'm ready to play that.
But you don't even know what it is.
I know.
How do you know you want it?
Because you just want more Zelda.
Because it can't be. There's no way it's less enjoyable than the first pack. Like, I didn't think I was gonna like the first pack at all when that was announced. You know, and then I played that dang Trial of the Sword so much to get through that, and I mean, just the experience that was of what happened, like when it finally made it to the end, and then I don't want to spoil it for people, but what happens that last part section of the Trial of the Sword, it was
it was worth
it. Totally worth it.
Exactly.
Totally worth it.
It was worth it.
And you felt like accomplished. You felt so accomplished.
Kevin's missed out so much.
You ruined Zelda for me.
I'm tired of hearing that at this point.
Well, if I recall, you're the one who actually said it. I never accused anybody else.
Well, I felt that way. I
just beat it so fast.
I definitely felt that way because you just keep bringing up how much you rushed it. That's why I think the Trial of the Sword might be good for you. It's like a mini version of the bigger game. Like you learn all of the traits and everything you need to know along the way. It might rekindle that for you.
It was a good way to get back into Zelda, because I mean, for not playing it as long as I had when that came out, I was like, I don't remember how to fight anymore.
It's like those Metal Gear mission games that used to come out.
Oh yeah, the VR missions.
Yeah, it was like that for Zelda. It was like Zelda's VR mission. It was fun.
Link.
We need that bumper, Kevin. Get on that.
But Zelda's not. That's neither here nor there. That's another time. But let's jump into what Donnie was excited for, because this is Xenoblade Eve tomorrow. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is released into North America. It's kind of a game I've been sleeping on personally. I'm not really familiar. I've never played a Xenoblade game. I had toyed with getting the 3DS port, but didn't, just because I think that's the problem I have with Xenoblade is why I didn't get it on the Wii U. It's a massively huge game, and I just knew on the Wii U I would never be able to play that.
Yep.
3DS, I thought, great, I can suspend it, play on the go, get in and out. But I've really heard performance issues are kind of...
It's bad.
Yeah, and it's not... I mean, plus you're dealing with the resolution. So if I thought of any platform that could get me into a big RPG like that, it'd be the Switch. So that's where it has my interest. At this point, I've not... I know, the review embargo dropped today, so scores are coming out. I haven't read a single review. I haven't watched anything. I don't even know what it's getting in terms of scores.
Oh, wow.
That said, I have no plans on. I'm done. I finally said no. I'm not buying any more big games, full price games until 2018. Now, indies, yes, because let's face it, an indie is $10 to $20. It's a little easier, but otherwise, it's, at Christmas, you got everything else coming on the holidays. I'm like, nope, I can't buy any more games until next year. So I'm, I'd always had a wait and see approach on this game, but so I'm interested to hear your thoughts on what's coming out. I mean, I know typically you're not one to take scores, religiously, but I mean, are you jumping in tomorrow night? What's your game plan here?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm definitely jumping in tomorrow. I plan on streaming. Hopefully, I'd like to stream my first couple hours. You're right. I've never been one to just take review scores, aggregate them and make my decision. I pretty much will buy a game if I want to buy a game, and I kind of let make my own, let my own opinion dictate that. But I do I do enjoy reading reviews. I like getting out from them, especially when they're done well. I very much enjoy people that lay out reviews well, and there's some outlets that do that better than most these days. But I like knowing what I'm getting into. So before I even mention any of the review roundup stuff, I'd like to ask you: have you ever played anything that you would consider in the ballpark of what you know about Xenoblade?
To me, the closest thing I will attribute it to is going to be Xenogears, just because,
of course,
the mech side of things. But at least I haven't played a full scale, because I Am Setsuna is much a small scale RPG. It's very much more of a linear experience. You're kind of just going from point A to point B. But I haven't played a full huge RPG since it was on PlayStation. I had virtually every Squaresoft release on PlayStation. I mean, I was just that was my introduction to it, because I never had I had a Genesis prior to that, and let's face it, they didn't really get. I mean, you had was it Phantasy Star or Shining Force? I think was on that. I'm sure I'm wrong there, but there wasn't really you didn't have your Chrono Trigger, your Final Fantasy. You didn't have that on Genesis, so I never had exposure to that. I had a friend that showed me a few things, and he was playing Final Fantasy 3, and I was like, oh my god, I want to play RPG. So then when I had a PlayStation, I jumped in with Wild Arms, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 9, and so on and so on. So no. So the long no, I've given you the backstory. Yes, the answer is no. I haven't really played much, I would say, that could be comparable to that.
Well, Xenogears is definitely in the realm, but outside of X, there hasn't been a whole lot of mech stuff. Sometimes you get to ride things, but that's really, it left that Armored Core type stuff a long time ago. I think Final Fantasy is probably the closest, especially newer Final Fantasies. I think in the realm of if you were trying to make a comparison, I think you can make a lot of comparisons between Xenoblade, Xenoblade 2, Xenoblade X with Final Fantasy 15. It's this gigantic sprawling narrative. You fight giant monsters, you fight little monsters, you just kind of roam around.
Monster Hunter too like that.
I'm sorry?
It's the more the RPGs now, they're not really, are they, because what is Final Fantasy newest release? They're not turn-based so much anymore. Now it's all real time, more of an action focus.
Action role playing combat. So yeah, it's like the Kingdom Hearts games. They play like that.
Yeah, or
Monster Hunter,
like a World of Warcraft. Yeah, it's kind of like a WoW thing, but you're playing it solo.
Okay.
There's a lot of that. Actually, I was going. That's where I was about to go. I think the most direct comparison between Xenoblade game would be World of Warcraft from gameplay, what you're doing and how you're doing it. But you're just doing it alone. You're not doing it with friends.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I really don't have an answer as to why I've enjoyed the Xenoblade games, but for some odd reason, I always have. I really enjoyed Xenoblade Chronicles, and I really enjoyed X. I'm one of those weird people that really liked X. And most people that really liked Chronicles didn't like X, and I really liked X. I like X a lot. But yeah, I think it is that real-time action combat system, I think, is what I've always been drawn to. That's the thing that gets the edge for me over like turn-based slower RPGs. Like I feel like I have little patience for that. I'm like, all right, I want to get in there, let me button mash. And you guys know me, like I like to do like the Dynasty Warriors, the Hyrule Warriors, the Fire Emblem Warriors, that type of stuff. I want to be involved. I don't want to like pick my attack and watch the animation and then watch their animation and then potion and heal and come back and defend. It's just too slow. I've always found like I just feel bored. So with this game where there's something always going on, it's kind of like rhythm based. I always get way into it. To get back on the review roundup, though, Xenoblade Chronicles has a wide range of reviews. And I probably read 10 and watched 10. I mean, I did a lot of this today. Like my entire drive to work, I was listening to them. When I was at work, my lunch break, I was reading them. So I went through a lot of them. The one thing that I think I did notice, I think the lowest common denominator, I think everybody says that if you like RPGs, especially if they're rich in story and music, you'll like it. Apparently the story and the music's really good. And I wanted to say that on Shack tonight because I gotta say there was a part of me when they announced this for Switch so soon after X, considering how long X was in development, I kind of felt like maybe this was being pushed out. Like, let's just get something on the system. I was like, oh no, they're gonna launch game treatment in Xenoblade. And it doesn't sound like, from the reviews that I read, it doesn't sound like that's the case at all. Everybody, whether they liked it or didn't like it, everybody was like, the story's really good, especially for an RPG. They're like, the story's really good. They're like, you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of a lot of hours you're going to put into it. And it's about an 100-hour game. Most people that completed it, I don't think I heard anybody beat it in less than 80. And most of the reviewers that I heard said they were at least 80, if not 95, 100. So it was a long game.
I used to always get like really like I would, if you would have told me that like if this was still Wii U and you would have told me that, I'd be like, well, I'm never even gonna touch that. But now let's say if I pull up my Switch, let's see, Zelda's over 80, Splatoon's over 80. It's just so much easier with this platform to invest that when you can, especially now it's like, oh my gosh, this is the one day I work this week. I'm actually can stop working for 30 minutes and I can do that and then get back to it. So I mean that's not as intimidating anymore, but my issue is with games of not so specifically Xenoblade is this way, but whenever I get a ton of customization options and a lot of menu heavy context and I have to go through and okay, you're gonna have these items and you got to slot them in this and then you're gonna upgrade these and then you got to pick, do you want to upgrade it in this way, do you want to go this tier, do you want to go this tier, but then you got to farm this material to turn that item into this chocobo and then that is gonna poop a golden egg and then you're gonna use that to upgrade your sword, which then you use to recruit this guy. And then you go through and you use a potion.
So based on what you've told me, like leading up to this point over the last 6 months to now, I got to say that I don't think I could recommend this game for you. Because there is a lot of that. It's very, very, very tedious. I was thinking about Kyle today and how he and I both thought the menus in Fire Emblem Warriors was too much. And it's like, dude, this is that times 100. This is way more than that. Like, that's a small part of what this has to offer. And it's not that it just has it to offer, it's that you have to learn it. The thing that I've said on the Shack in the past is, and is absolutely true, I had a book that I printed off when I was playing X. Like, I made a binder. And I made dividers and everything. Like, that's legit. Like, because they didn't have, there was no manual. Like, when you bought that game, there wasn't a manual. The manual was inside the game. Like, you had to open up your menu, your pause menu, and go to the manual. And that's where all of the tutorials and everything were. So somebody printed it off and put it up on the web, and I printed it off and was like going through it, highlighting and reading it. It's not, that's kind of that is the trend that I picked up on today in the reviews. It's not the handhold your way through 50 hours to teach you a cute story with turn-based RPG. This isn't Child of Light, and it's not Setsuna. Like, this is a serious game. If you're not really ready, if you're not ready to like, this is the game I'm going to play, then it's probably not for you, because it's probably going to leave you frustrated because you're going to be like, why is this so hard? Because it demands that kind of investment.
I think Lost Sphere will be my next RPG more than likely.
That's a better choice. I think that's wise. The other thing I saw tossed up, so I read a couple of reviews too, and I agree with Donnie. They're like all over the place. There's a lot of 8s, but then there's a lot of like 6s and 7s. It's very weird. But the one thing I've seen kind of tossed around in almost all of them, though, Donnie, I kind of want to hear your concern on this, is the word sloppy. I've heard sloppy a lot.
I've heard frustrating, not sloppy.
Yeah. So, like, I'm kind of wondering what they mean by that, because they don't really alliterate on that. So I'm like, what do you mean sloppy? Like, does it play like junk? Or because everyone says visually it looks great, so I'm wondering what is sloppy and frustrating, and like what's driving that, because that would concern me, and I haven't decided whether I'm pulling the trigger on this one either, so I'm in the same boat as Jason. So
when I've heard, a lot of it is that there is no, like, the tutorials that pop up, like, they just pop up at that very moment and you can't get them back again. Like, once you if you skip through them, like, that's it.
Yeah,
that it came.
I don't like that.
I've heard a lot of that, and the game doesn't really tell you. It kind of does that Zelda thing. The game doesn't really hold your hand. It's like, here's the world, go figure it out. The one big detriment that I've heard, especially in the negative reviews, apparently there's a point in the game that if you were mainlining the quest, there's a point in the game where it goes, hey, if you didn't do these 10 or 15 side quests, you can't really go forward anymore. And because it, like, you need to buff out your blades to be able to unlock doors and things to keep going. So, like, it almost forces you to go back and side quest it. So here's the thing about that particular deterrent. If I was reviewing the game, I would understand why I would make that point. If I'm playing the game, you should be playing the side quest. I don't know, like, I feel like it's a little interesting to say these side quests that the game has, I don't want to play them at all, so therefore I think they're a deterrent. And it's like, well, I mean, I don't think I ever recalled anybody saying that about Final Fantasy. Like, all these side quests that they have, I don't want to do, so I just didn't, and now I don't like the game because of it. That's a weird thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but the definition of a side quest normally is it's not mandatory to go through. So by them saying it's mandatory, it's almost like, well, then that's not a side quest. You have to do that.
I don't think it's not mandatory. I think all of them aren't mandatory. I think as far back as I can think about, especially I'm immediately going to the Zelda series. There is totally side quests in Zelda series that you have to do. Like, all the way back to Ocarina. You don't have to do them all, but there's still some that you really need to do, especially if you want to, like, get certain items and things like that. So I think the bigger problem that I would agree with is apparently the game doesn't really tell you until one point in the game. You're like 70 hours through, you're coming to the end, and it's like, hey, by the way, you know, there's that Wind Waker treatment. Hey, by the way, all those fetch quests you didn't do, we need you to go do them now. So there is that.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
I can see that. So the Nintendo sites, the Nintendo Love folks, right, the bias blogs, they really loved it.
Hello, lovely people.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not allowed here. Don't ever do that again. I'll find a new host. Don't ever do that again.
Wow.
No, the so
more time off, Jason. That's what I'm here. More time off.
Nintendo World. No, Kevin, don't say that. You'll be next up. You'll be
Nope.
Nintendo World Report absolutely loved it. And the folks over at Game Explain, Derek did the review, and Derek literally said at the very end of his review, I'll save you the time from going to watch it. It's a really good review, though. 25 minutes, very detailed. He literally says his favorite game of the year. And he's played them all. You know, like, he's played Breath of the Wild, he's played Odyssey, he's played all of the Switch games. This is my favorite game of the year. So, you know, there are those, like, I think GameSpot was really down on it. I know Jason Schreier, like, he doesn't like it at all. So there are folks that, you know, are down on it, but then there are also folks that are saying it's the best game they've played all year. So wide ranging could be anywhere from 10 to 6. It's an interesting one. It's a fickle bird, Xenoblade 2.
Well, I think that's good, though, that at least if it looks like if it's a game that clearly it's a game that's made for more of a specific audience than a lot of the other Nintendo releases, and it sounds like with those people it's really resonating well. It's probably more, it's not going to have that wider mainstream appeal of, you know, your Zelda or your Mario. You know, it's more of a niche position, so to speak.
The very interesting, this is the last thing I'll say about it. I don't want to hog all the time. I know I do that too much. The very interesting thing that I did read is, I think of all of the folks that I saw that I would call negative, I don't think, you know, 7 and 8's not negative. Those are good games. The ones that I thought were negative, I didn't see any of them mention that they played or beat Xenoblade X or Chronicles. I did notice that. I was like, all of the other ones that loved it, they're talking about the you know, the Easter eggs to Xenoblade, how they played Chronicles and how they played X, and the differences between the games and how far it's progressed. And then the ones that didn't like it, like, you don't really hear any of that. They're just like, I played this game, it didn't hold my hand, it didn't tell me what to do, I didn't know what to do, I found this frustrating. Like, there seems to be a divide there with those that played Xenoblade in the past and I guess maybe are more used to it or knew what they were getting into versus maybe the reviewer that just got assigned the review.
That definitely makes sense.
And I could be overreading. Maybe they just didn't decide to put any of that. But I know that if, like, let's say PSVG got a review copy, if you were asking me to review Xenoblade 2, I would absolutely tell you about my experience in Xenoblade and Xenoblade X. Because I feel like it's, that's any time, how many times did somebody write Ocarina in a Breath of the Wild review? Like, you want to embellish, like, your history with the franchise, let people know where you're coming from. I feel like that's a part of it. I don't know.
Well, I'm interested to see what your impressions are after you get into it. I might depends on when you jump in. I might try to. I'm assuming you'll be streaming, so I'll try to catch some of that. And because I enjoyed doing that when you were playing Fire Emblem, so it was cool to catch a game that I wasn't immediately going to jump in on it right away. It was cool to at least get an impression along the way. So. I think now, we talked a little Xenoblade. I think before we get to what we want to say our main-ish focus is, I think it's important. We did get some questions tonight because I think the people knew Kevin was coming, and they're like, I got to deliver stuff to the Shack. So I think it's a good time we hit the PSVG Nintendo Shack mailbag and answer these listeners' questions. Nice fist. I like it. Starting right off, one of the greatest Twitter handle we probably see on the PSVG network, Trash Turkey.
Nice.
Excluding Nintendo Power, what was your favorite video game magazine?
Donnie buzzed in first.
Donnie's
PlayStation Magazine.
Yes.
They had the demo discs.
Yes, I was going to use that. Yep.
There you go. I honestly, outside of Game Informer, when GameStop came around, that was really the only one I ever had. I never subscribed to any because we didn't have magazine subscriptions. But anytime we were ever at like a Kroger or a Meijer or Walmart or anything like that, and I found one of those PlayStation magazines, the demo disc, I always begged for it. I was like, we have to get it. We have to get it. It's got a game in the magazine. So, like, yeah.
That's always cool.
That alone, I have no idea who wrote for it or any of the articles. Don't care. Nobody cares. Demo discs. Demo discs. That's all it is.
Demo discs.
I was the same way. That was always one I picked up, especially during the PS2 era. I didn't have a PlayStation 1, so PS2 era, I'd buy them all the time, and they were so expensive. They were like
$14.99.
Yeah, so I think they're like $12, $15 for that, but I was like, it didn't matter. I bought it anyway. But I did have a subscription to Nintendo Power for the longest time. So the other one that I actually read, though, so PlayStation I pick up for the demos, but the other one I actually read was Electronics Gaming Monthly, EGM. I enjoyed that one. I thought the writing was actually good in that one. They weren't too biased. I thought that one was just well done overall. So it's probably the only other one I actually read and not just bought for discs.
Okay. This has always been my answer, and I think I still have most of my issues still.
Playboy.
Yes. Actually, I was more of a hustler kid.
Okay.
Ultra. It was Game Players. It started as Game Players magazine, and then at one point they kind of rebranded into Ultra Game Players, and they also had a demo disc. They had a little demo disc that would come out. Usually it was had PC games, but then they had like, this is when QuickTime was like your only only video file source, and they had like weird things from the editors. They'd have like these weird videos, and they had they had these weird personas they played up. I think mostly I liked it a lot because whenever they had like their little pictures for the reviews and stuff they did, they always had like they always edited them, and they had like weird graphics on their faces and stuff like that. But funny fact, it also after it stopped becoming Ultra Game Players, they rebranded again, and it turned into Game Buyer magazine, and that was around I think it was still in the 32-bit era. And they didn't really score games. They basically kind of looked at all these rankings, and then they would tell you if you should buy a game or not. And the head editor was Frank O'Connor of Halo, and was it 545 Studios or whatever is making Halo now. So he was the lead editor at one point. And I always thought that was funny. So there's your fun fact on that. Moving along. From Kyle, Mr. Part of the Board with Video Games team, and that's a board with an OARD.
What is that? Why do they spell like
that? If you know, Kevin, slide into my DMs sometimes. Let me know because I need to know. Kyle asks, all right, so we know we're getting a Super Mario cereal. which we did just lay out on the show. But what Nintendo IP or game would make the best cereal, and what would that cereal contain?
I feel like Kevin and I might have the same choice. I'm going to let him go first.
Ooh. So I had two choices. The first one was Splatoon.
That's not mine.
And I wanted it done like kind of like Lucky Charms. So you had the marshmallow squids. But I think ultimately the one, my real answer then, the one I came up with at the end was not a Nintendo IP, but just simply Nintendo cereal. And
okay.
Same vein, like Lucky Charms and all the different marshmallows, there would be different characters, like Yoshi's Egg, a Metroid, a Splatoon squid, something like that. I thought
it's too many brands in one bowl, man.
Yeah, no, but it's all Nintendo.
I'm just going to take all the answers and just make it one answer.
I think I have a good answer.
All right.
Cap'n Toad Crunch. Tell me that's not an amazing answer.
Sold.
I thought I had a good one. I was like, this is hands down the easiest way to do this.
I think for me, I would go Zelda. I know that it's already been a cereal, but I think it'd be fun to have like Octoroks and Tentites and all the weird creatures and from the lore, and just have those as weird. You can have like really bad flavor combinations, like Jelly Bellies, and like I don't know. It would just be. It's just a horrible thing.
Would you say that would be a calamity in your mouth?
Ooh.
Calamity Ganon. Best villain name ever.
Both of those were terrible ideas, by the way. Not nearly as good as Cap'n Toad Crunch.
What do you mean? It's not good to just. What about Kevin? Technically, he said all the stuff. So your Captain Code.
That's true. That's true.
Captain Crunch. Your Captain
little Toad hat mushroom. Marshmallow.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Super listener Paul Calico. How much longer do we have to wait for emerald green Joy-Cons or any other color? Other than that, y'all, I got nothing right now. People want their Joy-Cons. They want them customized. They don't want to buy a third party and have to take things apart and break it. They want Nintendo to give them more stuff.
Well, let's see. So we already know, I don't know if you guys caught this at all, but Nintendo had done a video not that long ago and it leaked in the background. So Nintendo does those annoying PR videos that I really hate the people that they use and I don't even watch them. But everyone was like
the Nintendo Minute stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Somebody's mind blew because they looked in the background. There's all the different Joy-Con boxes and there was just blue. And it wasn't the neon blue. It was like a just dark blue.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God. I don't care.
The more interesting thing is that why are they doing just blue?
Right. Yeah. Right. Out of all the colors, they just do it to alternate the Mario Reds. I don't know. But so for green, you would think, okay, if they are going to do that, it would have to tie into something.
Zelda.
We already have Zelda, so we're going to wait till the next Zelda game? Like, I don't know. So I don't know if there's green ones on the horizon, or maybe if they do a Donkey Kong game, we could see some jungle green ones. But that's the only one I can think of. I
was going to say it'll be next year. I could see them doing a Zelda console. I could see them doing it like even later next year. I could still see them doing a Zelda console. Yeah. At any given point, they just did a Zelda 3DS. At any point, they can do a Zelda-themed console. And people
but Breath of the Wild, he doesn't really wear the green. It's more that turquoisey blue.
That's why I was going to say Pikmin. Maybe Pikmin.
Ooh.
Pikmin could do green Joy-Cons. So could Animal Crossing. You could get
away
with that.
Yeah, Animal Crossing might be better because there's no green Pikmin. It would just be the landscape.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing might be good.
But yeah, they're not coming till next year. And if next year, I'm thinking like next holiday, like next year, like this time next year. It's gonna be a while.
I agree. They don't need to. They print money, but I don't think they're in a rush to sit there and blow through all the colors. Go
get your own. I just had my own made. I'm done. I don't need any more. Just go do that.
I think they have other priorities they need to get done before they can focus on, peripherals and things of that nature. I think they have more pressing matters with the online service and quality of life.
Absolutely.
That we need to do first before we can do that. Not to say I colors don't get me excited, but I would love to see, like everyone says, the atomic purple,
or the
give me that atomic purple, have that come back. Or not. I'm not so big in colors, but I like, which is the route you took, Donnie. I like to see specific themed layouts, like a Super NES or a Famicom or stuff like that nature, or like even a GameCube colored and stuff like that. Like we talked about when the Switch was first and out, was customized Joy-Cons based on past hardware.
Microsoft doesn't have the controller shop where you can just customize and make your own.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for them to drop a D-pad Joy-Con. Because they're swappable and people want to collect them. Like, I'm really waiting for them to be like, all these Joy-Cons that you like, now you can buy them with a D-pad.
That's true.
And just people just start swapping them out for D-pads when they want to play games with D-pads. Like, I kind of think that might be a thing that they do.
Yeah, that'd be nice too, instead of having that separated thing.
Yep.
So, last question we got comes from he's been cursed now. He used to be Surge has been cursed because of the boys over at Dayspace that Forget Being Cool, and Donnie, you removed the question before I could read it, and I can't.
Oh, I'm sorry. He wants to know what's our favorite indie game this year.
There you go. Thank you. Everyone's talking about Game of the Year. So what, for Nintendo, what is your indie Game of the Year?
I'm going last this time. I'm going first.
Oh, can I go last? I'll jump in there, Donnie. I'll take it, because for me, I think it has to be, I've played a good handful of indies this year. But in terms of the one that I enjoyed the most and was a unique enough experience for me, I think it's got to be Golf Story still for me. I mean, SteamWorld Dig 2 is right up there, and as much as it built upon that formula from Dig 1, it still was a familiar experience. Not to say to lessen it. It is a great game. I tore through it, but Golf Story was something I didn't expect, didn't know what to expect, came out of nowhere, and was a really fun mashup of our old school RPG kind of adventure with a golf mechanic. So Golf Story gets my nod for indie Game of the Year.
I wanted to pick out something 3DS because I just felt like we haven't talked about it. So I went and started looking up 3DS releases this year. Couldn't find one.
Sounds familiar. That name sounds familiar. I just can't place it.
Couldn't find one. So yeah, the three contenders for me this year are Graceful Explosion Machines, SteamWorld Dig, and Golf Story. And as much as I did enjoy SteamWorld Dig, I feel like it didn't do enough. That would be like my one comment at the game. Like, I wanted more than that. I wanted more story, more content, more game, like just a bigger thing. It kind of felt like just, it felt like more SteamWorld Dig, which I love. Good game. Don't get me wrong. Just didn't wow me like the first one because it was just like the first one. So for me, Golf Story. That's the one I voted for the Game of the Year awards. That'd be the one I'd vote for, like for, continuing on. Golf Story was a fantastic surprise. So, yeah.
Jazzpunk.
This is the Nintendo shit. We're talking about Nintendo stuff.
Oh, sorry.
Geez, come on now, get with it.
For me, I haven't fully decided yet, but it's down to 2 for me, and neither of which is Golf Story. Just saying.
That's good.
Thimbleweed Park,
okay,
or Battle Chef Brigade. I know you guys haven't played either. Well, Jason's played a little bit of Thimbleweed. But neither of you played Battle Chef. But I mean, I think you guys have seen some of our community there has bit at the Battle Chef Brigade bug there, if you will, and they're all pretty happy with it. So I'm just not sure which one takes the crown for me. I think right now it's probably Thimbleweed, to be honest. But Battle Chef Brigade was such a great surprise; it just kind of jumped up there, and I was very happy with. So
I wish Shakedown Hawaii was out, so that could have been my game.
That would have been another one I would have considered, I'm sure. Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our questions. We do have a little bit of time left, so we're going to try to hit through this as best as we can. We had some rumors coming out. First of all, I'm just going to hit this all the way real quick. We had some rumors coming out. There was a EA quote-unquote leak with the presser of what they've got coming up for the rest of the year and some of the timetables on some of their game releases. And we see that there's a Nintendo Direct possibly coming December and January. And to kind of coincide with this, there's been a pattern that whenever, this is, Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, because I remember you first talked about it, whenever on the Nintendo of Japan site sort of clears space, they
make a placeholder for the Direct.
Yeah, there's also the placeholder on the website shows up for the Direct. Not long afterwards, one magically appears. So there's rumors that we're going to have a Direct coming on the way. I think it does make sense because I think there is going to be one to highlight the Zelda DLC.
Me too.
Before that comes out. And the rumors are that's going to come out right around the end of the year, beginning of 2018. So I think something coming up in December is more than likely going to happen. We're going to see a Direct here in the next couple of weeks. So.
I think we get 2. I think we get one specifically for the Zelda DLC, 20, 30 minutes, and then one for whatever they're doing in 2018 in January.
I would like
January,
another. I'd like another indie sizzle reel. Updates on what's coming out, progress. I mean,
Runner 3.
Runner 3. What? I mean, we'll get into that. I don't want to. Last thing we want to talk about tonight, though. What are we looking forward to in 2018? What do we hope is coming in 2018? What either this, we're going to talk stuff that is coming. We're going to talk some predictions, what we hope to see, things of that matter. I'm looking at big games for me in 2018, strictly on Nintendo. Guys, I have no idea because there's nothing really that I know personally for me on the horizon. There's things that I want to be coming. So like for me personally, like the big games still that not even big games, the only games that are coming are indies, Shakedown Hawaii, like we talked about, the Advanced Wars clone that I can't think of the name of now. That's
Wargroove.
Wargroove, thank you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking Flipping Death. I'm excited about that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it's all indies for me right now. So it looks like I'll be playing a lot of Splatoon 2 and Zelda DLC to get me there.
Xenoblade will be waiting for you, buddy.
Hey, my library gets Switch games now, so maybe I can just get it from the library and
you'll be borrowing it forever. 100 hours.
7 years later, you bring it back. They're like,
yeah.
What's a Nintendo Switch? Yeah, I feel what you're saying, Jason. But for me, Yoshi's coming, man.
Mm-hmm.
And Yoshi looked great. And as much as I love that Yoshi's Woolly World, I am all in on that.
I forgot about that.
And the Kirby game actually interests me enough too. Now, if it was just a single player experience, I probably wouldn't be like rushing out the door to grab Kirby day one. But the fact that it is multiplayer and I can co-op game it with my wife like I did with Yoshi's Woolly World makes it much, much more appealing for me too. So I think those two are definitely on my horizon. Something else I'm looking forward to in 2018 is I really hope this whole loot box thing gets really more embraced by the community. I mean, I don't think we're seeing enough of it. I think that's what EA's Direct is going to be all about, is strictly bringing loot boxes to Nintendo Switch.
I'm waiting for the day Nintendo starts putting loot boxes in their games, and then you see real uproar.
It's going to be the question blocks.
You just wait.
What'd you get? Nothing.
I'm really excited for Fire Emblem. There is a legit mainline Fire Emblem game coming to Switch next year. I'm also excited.
I will play that.
I'm also excited for Runner 3.
My first Fire Emblem. I'm going to make that I'm going to put that out there right now.
I think that's more up your alley than Xenoblade because you do like the Setsunas and the things like that's kind of in that realm. It's just more strategic, especially if you're interested in Wargroove at all. Fire Emblem should be way higher on that list than that. Yeah,
it's gonna be way better than Wargroove. And I mean, for me too, like I'm excited for that one too, Donnie. So I'm glad you brought that up because I kind of keep forgetting that's out there because in my mind I just keep thinking Fire Emblem Warriors, which I'm still gonna get. Because I do enjoy that gameplay. Like I'm all for that too. And with as much fun as I have with Hyrule Warriors, I know I'm going to enjoy it too. But yeah, I keep forgetting Fire Emblem is definitely coming out next year too.
Yep, and that'll probably be later. I'm also excited for Runner 3. I keep bringing up every chance along the way. And Wargroove and Project Octopath Traveler.
Ooh,
those are the ones that kind of have. Those are one on the front end. And don't forget Wolf 2. So if you're, I'm about to finish it. I'm probably going to finish it after this podcast. I'm on the very end. And I love it. Great story-based shooter.
I've got the free trial queued up to jump into.
There you go. So if anybody's waiting for Wolf 2 on Switch, if it remotely resembles anything that Doom does, it's going to be a great get over there.
Oh, you'll be good. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I'm interested if I don't know if it's coming out. It's supposed to come out, I think, in December, but I don't know if it's going to make it or it'll be 2018. But this is one of the things I'm hoping is coming. We'll hear about coming soon. I got to get the fix. I'm going to probably jump in on Brawl Out. I don't know if it's how good it's going to be, but I need my Smash Brothers fix. Like I was listening to PSVG last episode, and Tyler was talking about it. I was like,
it's so good.
So I totally forgot. Well, I mean, I think I'm probably the only one here that even cares. But for me, I totally forgot ukulele this year.
I was about to ask you the same thing. I don't care. I couldn't care less about that anymore.
I was really hyped about that, and now.
Well, here's the reason. So same thing. I kept seeing it on the PlayStation Store drop to like $5 for sale, and I still held off. So I'm like, I want to play it on the Switch. I think portability would be I'd have much more fun with that. The thing that has tipped me back into the favor, even after all this time, is if you read everything, Nintendo helped publish it and develop it on the Switch. They helped with the actual optimizing for the Switch.
Still don't think it makes it a better game. They just make the regular game run better.
Lackluster game is still a lackluster game, even if it runs good.
We'll see. I don't know. Yeah. But I'm in. If it's gonna be $20 or less, I'm in.
I'd rather have mutants. So, yeah.
Speaking of which, I think that's gonna get a pre-purchase coming soon.
Yeah, I think it should be out next week or two.
Which will offer a discount if you do the pre-purchase. So,
I mean, it's been greenlit, so I would be surprised if it didn't come out before New Year's. To be honest.
Yeah, I think it's next 2 weeks. I think it's next week or the week after.
I agree.
Rules will kick that out.
So Christmas.
We got a tiny bit of time. Let's throw out a couple predictions for 2018. I'm going to say we are going to get news on Smash Bros.
Yep.
God, I hope we get news on Smash Bros. And I want to Pocket Camp has got me I'm ready for Animal Crossing.
Yes.
On a console, not a handheld. I want a full blown Animal Crossing experience. I'm so ready for that.
It really does. I don't like this. I uninstalled it. I was like, this is
I don't know why I still play it, but I think it's because I like Animal Crossing and I just don't want to play New Leaf.
Yeah, there's a Christmas event now though. You can get
There's a Christmas event.
So.
I'd rather just reboot up New Leaf.
Yeah.
But Chromebook and mouse clicking, and you were so
it's not
happy.
good. A lackluster game. A lackluster game is still a lackluster game unless there's candy canes.
Now, you guys think? Jumping back on the Smash topic, we have to think. I think we've kind of already talked about this before on past shows, but we have to think we're getting more than a port at this point. We have to think we're getting.
They'll call it a sequel.
Yeah,
it'll be an enhanced version, but they'll call it a sequel. They'll call it Smash Brothers Switch or whatever, and they'll tell you it's a sequel. It'll be 90% the same game with new stages and a few new characters.
As long as they include all the DLC,
I think they might.
I think they kind of have to, because otherwise people get real ticked off.
The big thing is if they do Smash Run. If they do a solo player, that's the difference. If they do a real solo play, then you call it whatever you want, and I'm in. I'm in anyway, but that's where I don't have any fault in it at all. And I honestly, if they released the same game, Smash was so good, we'd all buy it anyway.
That's true. I will.
It's crazy that we continue to expect them to add so much more to a game that already has so much in it. It's like, how many more characters can they give us?
A lot. But no, I mean, if they didn't really do much other than just throw in some extra characters, I'd be happy. But I think that the DLC kind of needs to be given, which I think it would anyway, just like they did with Mario Kart. It was all there. It's not a big deal.
Yep.
If it's like that, I'm in.
Yeah. It'll be my most played game. I'm just going to put that out there.
I'll also get a Pro Controller if it comes up, because I'm not playing those on the Joy-Con.
And I'm sure you guys might bring this up too, but I would have to think we have to see some revamping on the UI experience and just some overall quality of life improvements on probably the Switch as a whole. In my God's name, give us some virtual console, something head in that direction. Whether it's
for sure
rolling out the paid service and getting that moving and blah 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 blah. But that's what I got.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Same thing. I want the Animal Crossing. Smash, I think, is coming. That's a given, I think, for most people. We know we're going to see more from Metroid. Whether or not that's out this year, who knows? But we're going to see more of it, which is a good thing. And, I mean, I don't know what else they can pull out that we haven't heard of already. Like, maybe a Captain Toad, maybe a Donkey Kong type thing. I'd be happy.
Toad would be nice.
Yeah, I personally, if I had to pick between Donkey Kong and Captain Toad, I'd actually pick Captain Toad. I had a lot of fun with the Wii U one, so I'd be excited to see that again. Once again, though, as long as it's not just a port. I'm okay with some ports. I've come around to that a little bit with the whole Switch stuff. I understand it's part of the process, but don't simply do every single one. I think Captain Toad's an easy enough game to develop that they can give us a new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, there's no microphone on the Switch for you to blow into to get the raised platforms.
Yeah.
I know. Right. I always take the easy route on predictions. I don't.
Here we go.
Take the low hanging fruit.
There we go.
Building up.
Stretch out here a little bit. Pokemon's the one that I want to say. I just don't think it's all the rumor and conjecture. Like when they said they're working on it, they made them mention that it's going to be a while. And then the rumor is that they're trying to do something new with it. Like everything points that it's not coming. For everybody that keeps thinking that it is, I feel like they're just going to be disappointed because like all the evidence is against it. If it happens, I'm going to be pleasantly surprised because I feel like that's the one. Like that's their next big one. I love Metroid. Not even close. Like Metroid's not Pokemon. Like that's the big one. That's the big one. I think that's why. I think that's another reason why they're going to wait. I think that's the reason they delayed a year, right?
Yeah.
So in my mind, we know we have Kirby, Yoshi, Fire Emblem. Like we are off to a really good start. How do they pad that out? Animal Crossing sounds right because it's been so long, and they just released the mobile game. So Animal Crossing sounds right, and I think Animal Crossing would move units, but I still don't think we have a whole lot of evidence that Animal Crossing console is like in the works, like in the pipeline. No. That's the scary thing.
There's and the localization takes forever on that, but the language translation takes forever. The only thing that's got going in its favor is they never have to really spruce up the upgrades. Like they're not looking for graphical enhancements to Animal Crossing. You're fine with the way it looks. Right. So that's the only benefit as going
look that way.
But the translation, you're right, that takes forever normally. Normally you hear about it, at least 6 months, if not longer, beforehand.
So what I'm thinking in my mind is I'm bracing for like that Nintendo B year. That B tier release year like collection. And I'm thinking we're getting Kirby, Yoshi, Fire Emblem, Smash. It's a great year. Like that alone is a great year. And then I'm like, all right, so they got to pad it out with 3 or 4 more games. One of them's got to be Mario something, right? I'm going to say it's Mario. I'm going to say it's Mario Party. I think the Switch with the Joy-Cons, I think we get Mario Party on the Switch somehow. They need a party game. There haven't been a whole lot of them outside of the Jackbox stuff. Like, that makes sense to me. They got to have Mario. Like, every year, a Nintendo system has to have a Mario game on it. I was debating between Mario Maker and Mario Party, and I just feel like Mario Party is the easier one to go with.
I think so, too.
I would go with... Go ahead.
I just want it to be a good Mario Party. Can we stop with the whole everybody hops in the same car and travel around the board nonsense?
I mean, I don't know the best way to do it. I honestly, I can't. I don't have like the big issues with Mario Party. I like the one on 3DS. I like the one on Wii U. Like we've enjoyed them, so I don't really.
I just like the old ones where everybody moved individually. You rolled your own dice. You weren't traveling together.
I just give me the mini games with online multiplayer.
The online would be the big
online Mario Party. That would be awesome.
That would be the big one. We would play that a lot, Jason.
Yes, we would do game night for sure. I would make time to play with you guys.
So I'm going with Mario Party. I'm going to go with Donkey Kong. They need a 2D game, and I don't think you can do it with Mario because Mario Odyssey came out. But they need more of that. So I'm going to go with Donkey Kong. So we have Smash, Donkey Kong, Kirby, Fire Emblem, and then instead of saying Animal Crossing, I'm going to say Pikmin.
I was about to say, we forgot about Pikmin.
We have evidence that Pikmin is in the works.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for that to be the thing. So E3, we see Pikmin, we see Smash, we see Donkey Kong, and then we see Metroid and Pokemon for next year, and everybody's happy. And
I'd be happy.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with that. That's another good year. Yeah.
Here's my last theory I came up with. Reggie sitting there, Redmond, Washington, in Redmond, Washington. Execute Order 66. And then they sent agents, Nintendo sent agents into Sweden, sabotaged DICE. They rolled out the loot boxes. The PR hit. Everyone hates EA. The calamity struck Lucasfilm, Disney, and they said, this must be fixed. They're going to rescind the Star Wars license. They're going to break the deal of exclusivity with EA. Factor 5 rises from the ashes, reforms, and makes a Star Wars game on the Switch.
I have one thing that I wanted to add, because we talked all non-Nintendo. We didn't really say any third parties. The third-party prediction I've been holding on to is, like, Nintendo really joined Bethesda this year, right? Doom, Skyrim, Wolf.
Yeah.
What's their Bethesda next year? The one that I'm going to offer is Blizzard. I think Hearthstone and Overwatch.
I think Hearthstone's definitely coming.
We've seen Hearthstone rumored already, too.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I've been holding that. I was upset.
Overwatch I'm a little skeptical on, just because I don't know if they can scale it down enough.
Kyle says 100% that they won't put that game on anything that doesn't run 60. They're saying 100%. If it doesn't run 60
Overwatch, frames, it's not. Yeah, Overwatch isn't going to come. It's just.
I don't think
that's my prediction. I'm holding to it.
To sacrifice quality for functionality. It'd be awesome though.
They could bring a Diablo to Switch. No problem, and that would be good.
Diablo would be sweet, actually. Yeah, that'd be nice. Do you guys have any other EA, or not even EA, but just the third-party stuff? I mean, I'd really like to see Madden. I'd love to see Madden.
Sports games, yeah. I'm excited just what Bethesda's done, because it's really, at first, we thought, we're going to get Skyrim, and then we saw all this other stuff happen, and I think it's nice to have a partner that's been willing to, take the risk and put the work into it, because I can't remember who's doing most of that port work, but that studio's been, you know, killing it and how they get these games to run on this hardware. So I'm just excited that we're going to continue to see more games come. I'd like to see that timetable get shortened a little bit, you know, because, you know, got all this hype for the new Colossus, and then how many that's on the road, then we've got it hitting the Switch, you know.
Yeah,
like
I couldn't wait.
That's why those windows tighten up a little bit.
Kevin
pulled the trigger because I couldn't wait. So
would you be interested at all if they did Fallout?
I was gonna say, dude, if they do Fallout, so they did Skyrim. So maybe you can't do Fallout 4 because that was developed for the next gens. Do Fallout 3. I will play it, because playing that handheld, being on the go, that would be amazing to me. But the third party I think we're going to see more come out with is going to be Ubisoft. So they had, you know, they were supporting right off the bat, right from the start. They said we're going to be here. They had big success with Mario and Rabbids. I think we're going to see more of their other
waiting on Steep
make their way. Well, yeah, nobody cares about Steep. But I mean, if they bring stuff like a version or a sequel to Watch Dogs, or if they bring an Assassin's Creed, doesn't necessarily have to be the same one.
Rogue,
right? Bring something, and that's what would get me interested. I buy it on the Switch too.
I'll buy Rogue on Switch.
Yeah, exactly. So do stuff like that, and I think that's going to be more success for Ubisoft without having to worry about bringing these massive AAA games across. Well, like, they're not going to bring Far Cry 4, but if they bring, you know, an Assassin's Creed HD upgrade, no problem. Like, I'm on board for that. So keep going that route, and I think third party is going to find some success on Switch that maybe people weren't thinking initially. We're right from the bat. We kept saying we want them to bring the same games to the Switch. Call of Duty was announced, not on Switch. We kept saying that, not on Switch. That was our joke in here.
Yeah.
But now we're seeing they're bringing games that come a little bit later. So yes, something like Wolfenstein, that's kind of a miss because that was announced, you know, just as it came out, like, oh, but it's gonna be later. Yeah. But if they're able to do these games right off the bat, saying, hey, we're doing an HD remake of this older game we had, I think people will buy. Now, it's not an LA Noire. I don't think there's a ton of interest for that. But if you bring some of these franchises people loved and give you the HD remakes, bring the Ezio trilogy from Assassin's Creed HD remake, bring that to the Switch.
Yeah,
stuff like that can probably work, and people will pull the trigger on that. So
yeah, because it's tough, especially like for us that have multiple consoles. It's really tough to wait to get the same game on Switch when you can get it now, or if you do wait, you could get it on your other platform for a considerable savings, more than likely. You know?
I got one more 2018.
Yeah, hit it.
Is there anything that we get from Rockstar? They're doing Red Dead. And I'm not saying they're going to bring Red Dead 2. Although I will say that your whole, they're not going to do this, they're not going to do that. I'm convinced that if somebody wants to put something on the Switch, they can get it on the damn console. Like, there are new gen games like Doom that are running on the console. Like, I'm convinced that it's possible. But that aside, does Rockstar do anything for Switch? Considering that they did LA Noire and they have Red Dead 2, do they do a Red Dead release for Switch? Do they do a GTA 5 release for Switch? Do we see Rockstar on Switch in 18?
I say yes, but it's not necessarily going to be what people want. So I don't think LA Noire
2 remix.
Well, no, I don't think LA Noire is going to do the numbers they were expecting. So that might turn them off a little bit. But the smart thing to do and an easy cash grab, do minor upgrade ports of GTA 3, Vice City, and what was the other one? San Andreas. No, San Andreas. In a one pack. Get all 3 games. And they don't have to be a ton much better than the PS2 versions. I think people snag that. You do Bully and kind of give it, if you did the PS4 upgrade they did for Bully, still didn't look like a PS4 game. That could run on Switch no problem. Bring those titles over. Once again, bringing older titles over with slight upgrades and have that factor of, I can play this on the go. Look at how much Grand Theft Auto sold. If you if you package all 3 of those games into one, charge $60. People will pay that.
That's exactly where I was going to go. Look at how much Grand Theft Auto 5 is selling. Bring that game to Switch. That's Switch's next Skyrim. Look how many people continue to buy 5 and then go tell them, hey, you love Grand Theft Auto 5? Now you can play it anywhere you want. And all kinds. I know I would rebuy it. I would buy it again. I
still have a copy.
So.
There you go. Well, I think that is going to wrap up the Shack for this week. As always, we thank you for tuning in to the PlayStation Video Games Podcast Network. If you haven't, you probably already do subscribe to all the shows, but feel free to, don't just swipe them away. Give them a listen. We've got great shows like the OT with Coach Mo. We've got Unrated is on there. We've got the Board with Video Games. We've got PSVG Proper. We've got Early Morning Gamer. We've got Academia Arcadia. Did I get the name right?
Yep, you got it.
I got it. I mean, there's a ton of great shows on there for you to enjoy. But if you wanted to stay around for the Nintendo Shack, I'm not going to steer you wrong. It might be one of the best shows on the network. I'm not partial. I'm not partial. I'm just saying. So, gentlemen, people want to follow you out on the internet world. How can they do that?
At Playing Nintendo, right there, right below my little video. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you should be. It's your fault, not mine.
No, keep downloading the podcast. We appreciate you downloading versus watching, because we have a face for podcasting. You can follow me because I hope you're not watching the video at PSVG Kevin. And if you have a problem with any of the podcasts that you say some are better than the others, well, forget you. You're not the one editing all these things, so too bad.
That's complaints at PlaySomeVideoGames.
Nice, I like that. I love hanging out in the live chat, like our little Thursday night hangouts. That's the thing that people are missing out on. That's the full Shack experience.
That's true. That's true. One quick thing Jason did not mention. So by the time you're listening to this, a few days from now, if you listen day one, Nathan and I did record an episode of our review of the Batman Telltale series. The new episode came out. That is dropping on Sunday, I believe. We're trying to get as much Nathan as we can before he goes on his baby hiatus. We don't know when he's coming back. So
it's tough. It'll get you. You gotta watch out. It'll get you. I know from experience. And I am at JW Lacey. If you really want to go into a darker corner of the internet, come Tuesday, it's Fluxtapose Live over on my side project. Our live monthly episode, first show of the month. So feel free to check that out. We're on the YouTube. But more importantly, check out Play Some Video Games. Check out, keep supporting the show. Give us your questions. Retweet us. Give us a review on iTunes if you haven't, because it helps us in magical ways we may never know. But most importantly, boys and girls, never stop gaming.
Boom. Good night, koopalings.